If you thought that Fallout 3 getting an update the other day was disruptive to modding, just wait until Skyrim Anniversary Edition launches next month, because that's going to wreak havoc on the most popular mods for Skyrim Special Edition. So if your Skyrim Special Edition is currently modded or you plan on modding it anytime soon, you're gonna want to watch this video as I talk about why this is such a big deal and how to prepare for it. So without further ado, let's roll the intro. Skyrim Anniversary Edition is releasing next month on November 11th for the 10th anniversary of Skyrim. For those unaware, this version is essentially Skyrim Special Edition plus loads of Creation Club content bundled with it, consisting of 78 creations, of which only 48 are currently available. You'll be able to get it either through a paid upgrade if you already own Skyrim Special Edition on available platforms, or you can buy it separately. At the moment, we don't have any pricing for either choice, so it should be interesting to see how much they'll charge people for yet another copy of Skyrim. But even if you don't upgrade, there's still some free Creation Club goodies for you, as alongside the launch of the Anniversary Edition, they will also be offering 3 free pieces of content, including a fishing mechanic, which they've shown off, Saints and Seducers, which was a quest line released back in 2019, and the last free creation you'll get is the option to enable survival mode, which was previously offered for free for a limited time when it released in 2017. The game will also be getting a free next-gen upgrade for Skyrim Special Edition on PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series. And since PC wasn't mentioned, it's likely just an increase in quality settings rather than an actual upgrade. Now, here's where the issue arises with Skyrim Anniversary Edition. For PC players, it's being pushed out as a patch for the existing Skyrim Special Edition installations and not as a separate game listing on Steam. It's also being recompiled using Visual Studio 2019, which is the same thing they did for the latest patch of Fallout 3. That being a major reason for why the FOSE developers can't give a time frame for their update. The game being recompiled in an updated version of Visual Studio doesn't just mean a small minor update for SKSE 64 and other mods, like the typical update has required in the past. It will require quite the undertaking to update for this version, and it will require updates from more than just SKSE 64. Since it's being pushed as a patch for Skyrim Special Edition, that means it will break mods for everyone. That is, if you don't follow the steps I'll run through near the end of the video. But here's a quick explanation from the SKSE developer as to why this is such a big deal. The native modding scene around Skyrim SE will have been around for about 4 years when AE comes out. During that time, code has been developed to make many plugins portable across different versions of the game. Most plugins use the address library from Meh 321. Other plugins use code signature matching, which finds functions that look like a specific pattern. SKSE uses an offline tool I developed a long time ago based around position-independent code hashing. With the AE update, all of these methods will break, and addresses will need to be found again from scratch. The reason for this is that as a part of the AE update, Bethesda has decided to update the compiler used to build the 64-bit version of Skyrim from Visual Studio 2015 to Visual Studio 2019. This changes the way that the code is generated in a way that forces mod developers to start from scratch, finding functions and writing hooks. Class layouts are unlikely to change, luckily. I didn't ask specifically, but the most probable reason for this is that the Xbox Live libraries used for achievements on the Windows Store are only available for 2017 and later. Some games have worked around this limitation by building the code that interacts with Xbox Live into a secondary DLL that is dynamically loaded by the game, but they didn't choose this option. Plugins using the address library will need to be divided into pre-AE and post-AE eras. Code signatures and hooks will need to be rewritten. We will all need to find functions again. The compiler's inlining behavior has changed enough that literally 100,000 functions have disappeared and been either inlined or dead stripped, to put it in perspective. Doing this work takes a reasonable amount of time for each plugin. I can probably sit there over a few nights and bang out an updated version of SKSE, but my main concern is for the rest of the plugins out there. The plugin ecosystem has been around long enough that people have moved on, and code is left unmaintained. Effectively, everyone who has written a native code plugin will need to do at least some amount of work to support AE. This realistically means that the native code mod scene is going to be broken for an unknown length of time after AE's release. So this is not only going to be a massive headache for mod developers, but also mod users, as it will require a good amount of work and time to get mods working with the Anniversary Edition, which is being forced upon Skyrim Special Edition owners on Steam. You're just not not going to be getting any of the content to go along with it. This is made even worse by some mod authors having already left the modding community either before this release or because of it. To be clear, this is just an unfortunate consequence of Bethesda updating their games, the way modding works, and forced game updates. So, like the SKSE developer had to say, please do not go harassing Bethesda over this, do not go harassing mod authors to push out updates for their mods when the Anniversary Edition releases. That being said, it's not the end of the world if you already have your mods installed or install them before the release of the Anniversary Edition, as there are some steps you can take to ensure that the update on Steam doesn't render your mod list unusable. So let's go ahead and head on over to the desktop to show you how you can prepare for the launch of Skyrim Anniversary Edition. First things first, go ahead and open up Steam, find Skyrim Special Edition in your library, right click, go to Properties, and then from here, click on the Updates tab, and underneath Automatic Updates, you want to set this to only update this game when I launch. So you'll now be able to launch your game via SKSE, even if there are updates required, as long as Steam is opened in the background. So if you accidentally launch your game through Steam or without Steam being opened in the background, your game will automatically acquire update files and break your modded installation. So to have an extra layer of protection in case you accidentally do update your game, from this window, go ahead and head over to Local Files and click on Browse, and this will bring you to the Skyrim Special Edition install location. So the first thing we're going to do is create a backup folder by right-clicking, going New, and clicking on Folder, and we're going to name it Backup. You can name it whatever you want, and then we're going to find the files that we're wanting to back up. The one that is absolutely required to back up is the Skyrim SE executable, which is located in this folder, as you can see, skyrimse.exe. Don't worry if it doesn't say .exe, that's just a setting in Windows. Now simply just right-click, go down to Copy, and open up the backup folder, right-click again, and click Paste. This will create a copy of the Skyrim SE executable, and now it's there for whenever the game gets updated, and we'll be able to downgrade the game using this executable. Now, there is a chance that they will update a few extra files that do need to be in the same state as they are right now in order to work correctly with mods that are currently available, and those are located in the data folder. Namely, it's going to be the primary master and archive files, that being the Skyrim.esm, the update.esm, the Skyrim interface.bsa, the Skyrim miscellaneous.bsa, and the Skyrim patch.bsa. You can highlight multiple files by control clicking, as you can see I've done here. And once you've done that, right click on one of the highlighted files and click copy. Now we can go ahead and head back to the Skyrim Special Edition folder, head on into the backup folder that we created, right click and paste. This will then put all those files in there as well. Now, another option is to not back up those files individually and to just back up the entirety of the Skyrim Special Edition installation. Now, this is only if you want to be 100% safe on being able to run with SKSE 64 when the new update comes out, as we don't know what they're going to update as of yet. So this is just one of those options that if you don't want a single chance of not being able to play the game when the Anniversary Edition comes out, this is the way to go, but I don't think it's necessary. But anyways, to back up the entire installation of Skyrim Special Edition, just go back to the folder and head back again into Common and find Skyrim Special Edition. Just simply right-click on it, go Copy, right-click on Empty Space, and click Paste. Now this will take some time as you are copying the entirety of the Skyrim installation, so Skyrim will now take up double the amount of space on your drive, so just keep that in mind. But this is just to be 100% safe. I don't think it's necessary. Reasonably, the only thing you'll have to update is the executable, but everything else is just an option for you, depending on the level of protection you want to have, being able to run mods when the Skyrim Anniversary Edition launches. So once that is complete, you will now have a folder called Skyrim Special Edition -copy, and this will have all the same files as your original installation, but it won't be touched by Steam, so it won't automatically update. So now that you're aware that the Skyrim Anniversary Edition is going to be quite disruptive to modding for Skyrim Special Edition, and you've gone ahead and prepared for it yourself, please be sure to share this video with your fellow Skyrim modders so that they can also prepare and save their modded installations and don't have to wait for all mods to be updated when the Anniversary Edition is released. I hope you enjoyed and found this video helpful. If you did, please smack that like button down below, subscribe during the good fight if you haven't already, and ring that bell icon to stay updated in all of my future videos. It'd be super greatly appreciated as always. And until next time, this is Epoxy, signing off.